that time of the week again. Time for Prodigy. First reaction and Hangouts. Hi guys. Yeah, I jumped in early. What of it? You should know I usually start these a little bit early. Let's take a look and see what we got going on. Sorry for all the crinkling. That is Lola playing with this big stuffed spider. All right. What do we got going on? All right. Lola, you're killing that spider. You showed who's boss. Anyway, hi. Hi, guys. All right, where are we starting? Casual Trekker, $10. Some of the video breakdowns have years like 2385 and 2384, but there hasn't been a lot of time jumps. So what year is Star Trek Prodigy set in? I thought it was 2383. Did I miss a time jump? No, I think it's 2385 for some reason. I'm not sure exactly, honestly. If you're just gonna, I don't think you missed a time jump at all. Ozzy throws in $5, watching Top Gun Maverick with mom, going to buzz the tower. Enjoy Top Gun Maverick, my friend. Olivia throws in $2. So glad all ships have red evil mood lights in them. Yeah, that's one thing that bugged me. I don't have a problem with the windows turning red, but there's no reason for the deflector light to change color, nor the warp coils. That makes no sense. Fleet Pulse like, ooh, you're on. Sweet. Great episode. Spiders. Sweet, squeaky ones, too. Yes, now she's eating candy corn. Thomas, oh my god, Foley. Sabi with no impulse engines. The Dauntless, the wrong color. So much wrong with this episode. Very cool idea-wise, though. A shame the visual effects team keeps failing us. They didn't really fail us. Yeah, we noticed the impulse engines and a few lights or windows missing on the one of the sovereigns. It's fine. We have videos coming out about all that stuff. We're gonna have a few good days of videos. So over the Christmas break, you guys will have some good content from us. Oh, my fucking hair. My visual effects teams keep screwing up because my hair keeps looking like shit. BJ, $2. Happy holidays. Thank you. Hello, today's episode was a lot of fun. I love that we got to see the Akira class's torpedo pod rotating in the new salvo. Yes, the old phaser sounds for the Centaurs. So many little ship goodies here. First time the Defiant and the Enterprise have been on screen together in 26 years. Yep. The heavy hitters are there. The Defiant itself is there. The actual Centaur is there. The Sovereign, the USS Sovereign warps in. And yes, the Enterprise is there. So, did I like this episode? I did. Were there problems with it? There were. It is the Defiant, yes, because the other Defiant classes had no registry or names on them. This went out of its way to show the top view that said the Defiant, and that showed the registry numbers from underneath. And the other ones didn't have that. So yes, this is absolutely the Defiant. No, the Defiant, okay, birth defect. No, the Defiant should not have the A suffix or B. The USS Defiant was shown in TOS and Enterprise, yes, but it was a different class of ship. Not every ship gets the suffix. I've said that for a long time. There's lots of ships that were named Defiant before this Defiant came about. There's only certain ships with special dispensation that get the suffix, and for particular reasons. The Defiant was not one of them. So no, it should not be the Defiant A. Is this how the Enterprise got destroyed? Could be. The Jericho says there were quite a few Enterprises that kept forgetting to change the registry on the warp nacelles. It could be that simple, yes. They didn't go out of their way to show specifically the registry number of the ship, but you could catch it in a few scenes. So, we'll be talking about that. Lots of cool stuff. Curious have rotary torpedo launchers. This has been folks had Canon for years. The Enterprise E and Defiant fought together. USS Thunderchild reappeared. Lots of coolness. Hell yeah. Not correct. This is if the Vonnegut have successfully destroyed Starfleet. Starfleet doesn't make first contact with Solom, and none of this happens. It's a total paradox. It is absolutely yes. Thomas, the story idea is so damn cool. Just though it's a shame the visual effects team didn't get it together. Also, why didn't the Centaur have TOS phaser sounds? Love the episode. Just the visuals, man. Why did the Centaur have a TOS phaser sound? Because it's an older style ship. So, upgraded phasers for sure, but I like the old sound effect. I think that's cool. Question, who is in command of the Enterprise? When we get a cameo next episode? No, you absolutely 100% will not get anything, a cameo from anybody on the Enterprise. I don't think that's a thing, no. So post-Nemesis, it should have been NCC on this Defiant, right? Not NX? Yep. You need first contact gone awry, so you have the Gwen characters, so they will travel back in time to prevent Chakotay from traveling back, and the Vonnegut need to work out their issues. Well, you do need first contact. Can they stop Chakotay from showing up after first contact? Possibly. I think there's going to be some time travel shenanigans to solve this problem. So, Fleet Pod, $5. Suffixes only go to special ships like Enterprise that have greatly contributed to Starfleet history. Not everyone gets one or is deserving of one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the Defiant, the TOS Defiant didn't do anything special. So, yeah, they were being very slow and destroying each other. Most were just using phasers. Yeah, we point that out. Nobody fires quantum torpedoes either. We figure that the construct wants them to suffer, essentially, like kind of experience, because they could have easily destroyed every ship there, like in a matter of a minute. With no shields, yeah, you can decimate ships. It was a very slow, painful, like bzz, bzz. I commented on that. It's one of the things that bothered me about this episode is the slowness of the ships to actually fire and destroy each other, because the relay station really went to town and fired everything and just decimated itself. So yeah, it was kind of weird. According to Metalis, the idea of warping and capturing the Enterprise at this time will be made canon. Not trolling, but Enterprise was a Constitution class. E is a sovereign. Is it the number? There's more than one Enterprise carrier. Not trolling, but Enterprise was a Constitution class. E is a sovereign. Is it the number? There's more than one Enterprise carrier. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That makes no sense, so... With the episode called Supernova, are they going to try to warp around the sun again? That's kind of what I figured, yes. I agree with upcoming time travel. It's already in the story with the Diviners going back. It will allow Diviner's dad to come back next season, assuming he died this season. Battle was as slow as Enterprise C, you think? As slow as Enterprise C. Again, I don't know what you mean by that. Part of it was a honeypot. They needed ships to warp in to be infected. A good disease doesn't kill too quickly before it can spread. It makes perfect sense to me. Yes, there's that as well. We talked about that before with the communications relay. A virus doesn't kill its host before it has a chance to spread. So, yeah, and now that there's other ships warping in, I like that. Brainy Specs, the show is predominantly in 2383. Also, all the ships that came in arrived too quickly, especially for the numbers that showed up, depending on where they are. And they did say they are deep in Federation space, so I think that's fine, honestly. Because even in the last episode, you still saw there were still some coming in. So the other ones are they're on their way. So. Yet, whether or not the post-Nemesis Enterprise E is one of the Sovereign class ships in the recent Prodigy is unclear, yet it's great to see the real Sovereign for the first time ever. Yep, it is unclear whether they are the Enterprise. We're going to have a video coming out about that where we discuss that. Could just be that it's on the model and they didn't bother to change it. Nobody will notice kind of disease. The Defiant was pretty deliberate that they showed that was the Defiant. But to have the Sovereign come in and actually have it say USS Sovereign and the registry number, and then have the other ones be 1701E, it's kind of weird, honestly. So I'm not sure what they're going for. It could just be a mistake, but it could be a deliberate thing. I honestly don't know. So I don't know how I feel about each ship. Sends a signal to all of them. Battle was fought near Gamma Serpentis, which is in Star Charts books, is located near the area of Memory Alpha. They're literally at Earth's doorstep here. It makes total sense to me. It does to me as well. I don't know why Gwen had to give the epic speech to the Klingon. They're our allies. They would come regardless. I would have had her talk to the Romulans. Nice callback to earlier. I thought about the Romulans during that scene as well. So, Fleetpod says, so here's the thing with suffixes. They were never meant to be a thing, like in the U.S. Navy. They reuse hull numbers, but they won't reuse designators. There will never be a CVN-65A for Enterprise. It's true, but that's not, Starfleet's not the Navy, so. Anyhow. Yeah, there's lots of problems. Even ships sending distress calls to other ships. Once those ships receive the distress call, they should technically be infected. So they should be already infected by the time they get there, not as they warp in and then become infected. That was one thing that bothered me. There are a few little things that bothered me in this episode, actually. We have a review coming out tomorrow afternoon, and then, of course, our full breakdown tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you can make it to that, check it out. There's going to be a lot we have to cover. And like I said, there's going to be a video on Saturday, Sunday, and probably almost every day next week, comparing these ships to their actual on-screen counterparts. So the automated ships beacon protocol, which makes sense when you're attacked, will mess with storylines. The Enterprise looking for the Exeter, Defiant, and Constellation in the Republic. Or would Warbird be more useful than a bird of prey, as Shield's a lot bigger and more powerful? You reckon in canon the Enterprise was the first to get the it was. Yes. Klingons may be allied with the Federation, but they are frequently slow to actually help out. Picard had to goat a Klingon into helping him. Unification, even during the Dominion War, hard to get help. But due to Kirk's bravery and the whale probe incident, special dispensation was made to register the next Enterprise as NCC. It's complicated. That's very true, yes. And plus it was also the flagship at that time, so they just wanted to carry on the flagship tradition. Plus, the real world reason was because they were replacing it with the exact same model. They didn't want any confusion that people coming in the next movie are like, why is the Enterprise got destroyed in Star Trek 3? Why in Star Trek 5 is it here? Give it that A suffix, and it fixes that for a lot of people. So, yeah. The problem with Klingons is once war is declared, they cannot stop until victory, so it might be harder to commit to war. Plus, once war is, announced, they have to shave their heads, and nobody wants to do that. So, you learn that from Discovery, don't you know? Yes, Fleetpod, you're absolutely right. Discovery did fuck the pooch. Grant McGregor, $10. I lost. Bingo. Nice cliffhanger. I lost bingo. Nice cliffhanger. What do you mean by I lost bingo? You went to go play bingo and you lost? I'm sorry. Why didn't they make Enterprise A different from the refit? Well, originally they were going to give them the Excelsior, but I think it was just because they just had the model and they didn't have the resources or the money to put into new models. So they just used the same model and just added the A. They have to shave their heads and breed Xeno. I agree, Mr. Anderson, but I was making a joke. As I like to say, it's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard. So, yeah. No, this was a pretty good episode. I'm also glad that Dreadnock was in non-lethal mode. He easily could have killed everybody. He killed nobody, even Dal with that shot that pinned him to the wall. That was a pretty lucky shot, I gotta say. Dal, you're lucky you're not dead. So that was kind of silly. I like that they go back to the Brecnars, or they talk about the not the Brecnars, the Brennan, the Brecken, anyway, whatever. From the Devore episode of Voyager, that was a nice little tie-in as well. The Universal Translator's going offline, fantastic idea. Although I don't know how it got fixed on the Dauntless when hologram Janeway was fixing it on the Protostar, and then they fixed it, and then the next scene, the doctor, at least the Tellarite doctor, said, "Look," and they understood each other at that point. I don't know. That was kind of weird. I didn't like that Jellicoe wasn't there. I wish Jellicoe was there. Sure, he was in the episode, but he's on Earth at Starfleet headquarters, because you saw the bridge in the background. That kind of bothered me. I do love the new repair feature for hull damage, where the Dreadnought punches through and then it not only force field to seal it, but then reconstitutes it, which is cool. I figure that's replicator tech, like not from Stargate, using the replicator to replicate more. Anyway, initially I thought programmable matter. No, it's much too early for programmable matter, but nice little touch. Yeah, I'm sure the doc might speak standard. The doc might speak English. That's fine. Regardless, yeah, there's a lot of death happening right now. A lot of Starfleet personnel are getting absolutely massacred. This has got to have a resolution where this never actually happens. Because they need to do a time travel thing or fix this somehow, because this is not going to be canon. If in fact the Enterprise is supposed to be there, and it is, seen in a few shots, if it is supposed to be the Enterprise, I wonder if that's why in Picard season 3 there is no Enterprise E and we have the Enterprise F. Maybe this is what happened to it. That would be interesting to find out as well. Who is on the Defiant? Is it Nog? Is it Kira? Who is commanding that? Everybody's going to say Worf, but this is after DS9, so he's an ambassador for Klingon or whatever right now. There's one maneuver, the dippy-do whatever, where they go up and then fall back down, and that's for fighter jets, my friends. You need gravity for that one. It looked cool, the dipsy-doodle. But anyway, it looked cool, but it just didn't quite jive with what was going on. Plus, the other stupid thing for me, the Protostar's shields go down. And it's got this whole fleet armada around it. Not one Starfleet ship thinks to hail it. I know that probably the Dauntless is the lead ship, so they're waiting for it. But that made no sense. That's not how Starfleet operates. You don't just sit there and wait. So that kind of annoyed the shit out of me too. Anyway. Grant McGregor said, wait, that was Enterprise? I thought I saw the USS Sovereign. Yeah, the Sovereign warped in, but in some shots you can actually see the registry number on one of the nacelles being 1701E. It's unclear whether it was a model that they had that they just didn't change the registry, or if it was in fact deliberately meant to be the E. because the Defiant, there were multiple Defiants, but only one of them said USS Defiant. The rest all had like no registry number and no name. So clearly they didn't just use the same model for everything. And for them to use the Enterprise model and forget to take the registry off of it and then have another one warp in that said Sovereign, seems really odd. So whether it was delivered or not, I'm not sure. Seriously, is that they really be allowed to destroy the Enterprise in this? You can seriously doubt that all you like. Yeah, this series would be better without the terrible kids, and it was more of a sequel to Voyager. Janeway, Torres, Paris, the Doctor, and Annika helped. But I disagree. Pumpkin Spice, I have no problem with the kids. I kind of like the kids actually, so I have no problem with that. Yeah, all the kids I think are perfectly fine. Zero's awesome. Rock Talk is awesome. Jankum is cool. Dal, I like Dal. So what are you chewing on? Lay down. Being a pain in my ass. I think they're fine additions to the lore, so. E can only be destroyed if Troy drives. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Want that? Okay, I'll take that out for you. There you go. I thought the Diviner stuff was good. Really unclear why Dreadnock didn't just kill everybody, but whatever. Really? That's disgusting. But the battle is the thing that annoyed me the most. Those ships could have annihilated each other like instantly. So, yeah, slicing ships up slowly is fine, I guess. But waiting for other ships to come in as a honeypot trap, I guess that's fine too. I just think it's kind of weird and doesn't quite fit the tone. But hey, what do I know? 56 of you here, 29 people watching. I mean, 56 of you here, 29 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Let's try to get those likes up to 50. That'd be amazing. I love how the girl said that she was trained to learn languages from other species to separate species, but now she chooses to bring together. Yes, that was a nice touch when the Universal Translator went down and Gwen, all of her linguistic skills were put to good use. Thought that was fun. That was great, actually. Otherwise, the constructors just sent it via subspace relay to begin with. Sad. I'm mad at myself for actually being upset with the Diviner. The Diviner dies. Yeah. Now the construct is interesting. So will this all end if the construct gets destroyed? If they destroy the protostar, that's the solution to this. That would stop the ships from attacking each other. Or are the ships already infected and it's just going to keep spreading now? Like is the construct behind it? It seems to be with the way it like focuses on the ship and then that ship fires. So if the construct is actually leading the charge, the solution would be to destroy the construct. And if you can destroy the protostar, perhaps you can destroy the construct. I don't know if they're going to go that route though, but anyway. Joshua 11345, $5. Would have been nice for an early Christmas gift of both episodes instead of just the first part. I can't wait for next week's episode, and yet you have to. That's the fun part. Yeah, I know. I hate the way they end these episodes for Prodigy, but hey, it's fine. Tracker Knot is here. Hello. This Jericho says, I did think the Diviner turn was rather abrupt. I would have given it that more time. I mean, he was enslaving people for years, and only now he turns. You gotta remember, he lost his memory, got saved by the Dauntless crew, slowly started to remember things, then got a huge jolt when the Vindicator came and showed him the visions. but he had already been saved by Janeway and crew and got to know them a little bit. I have no problem with his transition into changing his thought process on that. So yeah, I didn't think it was too abrupt at all for that. But hey, again, that's just me. So what do I know? 57 people here, 39 likes. We're almost at that 50 likes, guys. Hit that like button. We need 11 more. I think we can do it. Poor Dal, he reveals his feelings for Gwen and she just tells him he can't join Starfleet. Talk about misreading the moment. The Diviner was a complicated character. I'd make out to be more of a misguided person than an evil guy, one who was blinded by loss. Yeah. Plus he had years to lament this and years to cool off and chill out. The Vindicator didn't. She only got thrown 3 years in the past, not 50 or whatever it was that the Diviner was, or even 20 or whatever it was. I forget. Anyway, he has been dealing with this for a while. Time and age will change you quite a bit. Plus also losing your memory, getting to know these people that saved you, finding out that you're supposed to hate them. Then you remember why you hate them, and it's like, yeah, but they're not bad people. It was all a misunderstanding. I had no problem with it. I think it's fine. And was the Diviner really evil or just misguided, looking for vengeance in the wrong place? Yes, there's that too. Hello, I missed that one. Hate that they speed up camera shots during Easter eggs. Yeah. If you pause at the right moment, the Defiant herself is there. Yes, it is. Trust me, we've got breakdown videos on all the ships, and yes, the actual Defiant was there. The Centaur was there. The actual Centaur. The Sovereign warped in. The Enterprise E is there. Whether that's a mistake or not has yet to be. Aaron, where are you? We need Aaron to show up. Yeah, we have videos coming out about all that stuff where we discuss it. So. On the Diviner changing sides, I seem to remember the Vindicator saying he was once on the pro-Federation side during the war, which might explain the quick turn as well. Yeah, he was. He embraced the new ideals that Starfleet brought. So yeah, he was originally on their side. So. Captain, how is the snow? We don't have any yet. Episodes are too damn short. You're not wrong. Good tea, nice house throws in $10. Who assembles the crew on a starship? Isn't it the commanding officer? How is it that Admiral Janeway never met, seen, or knew about this girl, and she saved 7 years ago on Voyager? Well, they don't assemble their entire fucking crew. If you're taking over a mission, you assign your bridge officers. That's it, and your department heads. That's it. So yeah, it seems a little odd that the girl didn't come up and say hi to her at some point earlier in the mission. But I have no problem with that. I really like that, actually, referring back to Voyager like that. So I think that was fine. I think the Thunderchild was there. The ship shows up in First Contact and Picard as well. Don't remember seeing the word Thunderchild, but it could have been. I'm still betting the Protostar's new allies they make will warp in and help. Possibly, yeah. I think Okana might show up to help too. Who's the Enterprise captain now? I'm sorry if I sound ignorant. I have no goddamn clue. I don't think they've established that. And no, it won't be fucking Worf. It'll be Captain Worf. They're going to canonize Captain Worf. No, they're not. I don't think they're going to do that. I think that's a stupid goddamn decision. But who knows? It might tie into Picard Season 3 where he was, in fact, the captain of the Enterprise E, and we hear a little story about that. I don't know. I just don't think they're going to do that. And yeah, Mr. Anderson, that's also true. The ship already had a captain. She just got assigned the ship and then brought on the people that she wanted for the key positions. Was it the same actress who played the little girl in the Devore episode, voiced her as a woman? I don't know. That I don't know. No, Mother Bernari Ensign was voiced by Bonnie Gordon. Just heard her talk about it. It's the first officer that is in charge of the crew primarily. That's true. O'Connor comes back and destroys the fleet with his DJ skills. And sabotaged by the Beastie Boys. It's going to be huge. Oh, that's great. That's great. I wasn't a fan of the Sovereign crew wearing the Dauntless uniform. It just feels wrong. In the comics, Data was captain of the E. It really wasted him in Picard time. Yeah, in the comics, the one comic, the countdown comic to the 2009 film, he was captain of the Enterprise E, and that makes no fucking sense because they immediately decanonized that. So it's fine. Listen, Jericho, if you want to bet somebody, go right ahead. I'm not gonna bet anybody because they could possibly do it. I just don't think they're going to. So I'm not gonna place a bet on it. One interesting thing to note is that when their allies arrived, both the Ferengi and the Gorn ships arrived with them. Neither were considered allies previously. Grand Nagus Rom made alliance. Well, they weren't adversaries. I mean, they were at the beginning of TNG, but that wasn't the case for the rest of TNG and for DS9 and Voyager. And the Gorn, I have no problem with the Gorn being an ally, or even just be a civilian ship that's in the area, you know, cruising through Federation space, because they're not at war. So I have no problem with any of that. I think it's great. Good night, Stanleys. Bring back Stephen Culp, new XO of the Enterprise E and Nemesis. No Raffi, please. Agreed on the no Raffi, please part. Ooh, a novel. The Last Best Hope said that Worf became captain of the E. Doesn't mean it happened. Novels say a lot of things, a lot of really cool things. Some of the novels I really like the way they go with their what happens with the characters and what happens, but it's all beta canon. Doesn't mean anything to CBS. So the Gorn should name a ship after Kirk. Even the Ferengi came to help. Yep, and I have no problem with that. One of the main issues I have, honestly, is the evil fleet. I like the all red look. It looks really cool and menacing. I have no problem with the windows being red because even the bridge of the Dauntless was red. They're all under red alert. That's fine. But the warp nacelles, the warp coil blue should never turn red unless they're getting ready to maybe self-destruct the ships, which would make sense, honestly. And the deflectors turning red makes no sense as well. Well, how Star Wars handled Legends is a lesson to everyone. Took all the best bits and worked it in. Yeah, but I mean, they had a unified, expanded universe. The Star Trek novels don't at all. So, yeah. I renamed myself because you weren't there for the Lower Deck Season 3 episode. Hey, Thirst Contact. I recognize you. I know who you are. Dreadnock and Grievous. Until CBS Paramount recognizes their canon for novels, comics, and books like Disney did back in 2013, things will be a jumbled mess. Olivia says, I wonder how much the Gwen promised the Ferengi for getting their shield shot at. Well, she didn't talk to the Ferengi. She only talked to the Klingon, and then the Klingon passed on the message. So, yeah. Because there was no montage of her talking to different species. If they wanted to imply that she talked to different ones, there would have been like that camera pan behind her would have kept going, and they would have seen like the Klingon, and then they would have gone behind her head, and then on the other side would have been the Ferengi, and on the other side the Gorn. So no, she only talked to the Klingon, and the Klingon would have passed on the information. So Yeah, I'm not here to talk about beta canon. And yeah, Grand Negus Rom, changing things. That's fine. I had no problem with him sending aid. That Chancellor Martog would have approved to send Klingon ships. So. A little bit of the glitch in California planets aren't affected, so they can swoop in together. That'd be great. Yeah, the California class aren't affected because their systems are also old and they never get updated, so that'd be funny. Hello, Jonathan Bell. Yeah, we were above zero today, -3, or no, +3, and then we're going to be like -15 by Saturday. So that's Celsius, that's real temperature. So, yeah. Fleet Paw, so interesting little tidbit. The Klingon captain was voiced by the same lady who voiced Lisa Cusack for the DS9 episode, The Sound of Her Voice. Oh, didn't know that. That's very cool. Yeah, no beta canon. We don't want to be reminded of Deep Space Nine, too. Agreed on the warp coils turning red was a bit too much. Well, it's a great visual. It's a great visual. And for a kid's show, it works. But, yeah, it's a great visual. I will say that. At least the Kelvinverse Enterprise didn't show up. So overall, I really liked the episode. I think it suffered from the we don't know what to do with them effect, where after the Protostar's shields and stuff go down, the fleet, they didn't know what to do with the fleet. The fleet was just sitting there waiting. Seemed a little odd. There'd be other captains. There'd be like communications back and forth as to what we should be doing. They should be receiving 15 hails from different ships, waiting for the lead ship, which would probably be the Dauntless. Sure, I'm fine with that excuse. And then once they're infected, just the slow, and not using quantum torpedoes. No quantum torpedoes were fired because those are blue. They'd have to turn red. So maybe they were fired. I don't know. Maybe they turned the quantum torpedoes blue too, that glow. It just, I don't know. Seems like a little bit of an odd stretch because the Defiance and the Sovereigns would have quantum torpedoes, so. Would be like Battlestar Galactica with that ship not being infected because it was old and not networked. Yeah. It was Rutherford's Badgie that made the ships red. Sure, we'll go with that. What else can we talk about? The Gwen Dal scene where he like kisses her, thought they were having a moment, and then she tells him that he couldn't get into Starfleet, and the way he takes that, I like that. There's going to be a special clause or something, a way that he can get in to Starfleet. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue, honestly. I'm just interested to see how they wrap this season up. Plus, don't forget, we still have season 2, which has been written, and that's another 20 episodes. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. Darn it, Foley, your job is to know. Well, I know that, but I admit that I don't know everything. So, what's your plan for the 7 weeks with no new Trek? You think Paramount did it on purpose to build up marketing? Nice try on the by purpose there, by the way. No, I don't think they did it on purpose. I think it's just the way the chips fell. We have plans to have Thomas Maroney on, the lead art department guy for Star Trek Online. We're gonna look at some Star Trek Online ships. Might get the Ring Ship episode released. We're gonna have some fun lives talking about who knows what. But don't worry, we'll still be here for the whole time. We're not going anywhere. So the game is set between this episode and the next. Can I play it now? Actually, I got clarification from Aaron Waltke that the game is set between episode 10 and episode 11. And he has no idea why they called it Supernova. Because I thought the same thing. I thought it would fit between these two. It does not. So, hope the CBS people will give them another Star Trek show after Prodigy. Well, Prodigy probably will get a third, fourth, fifth season. Who knows? It was a good episode, yes. And General Grievous, yes. Hashtag justice for the ring ship. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, I don't know where this is going. These ships are getting pretty decimated. Lots of people are dying. I think there's going to be some kind of time travel shenanigans, and it's going to involve a supernova of some sort. A supernova that's nearby. They're going to use it to slingshot, go back in time, or forward. I don't know. They're going to do something. I hope Chakotay is in the next goddamn episode, first of all. And I also hope Acuna shows back up. Because something's got to give. Either they never make first contact, or they stop Chakotay from basically showing up on Solom for second contact, which was disastrous. Or they just stop this battle. Like, literally, Janeway almost stopped the whole thing from, like, don't answer that hail. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes. So they just need to do something with that. Sean O'Sullivan, you see Aaron walks on. You see him. You see where Aaron Waltke on the Trek Culture video, when asked what show he would. When asked what show would he make, he just said, well, if I want to make a show, I will just make it. Yeah, Aaron Waltke's great. Hopefully he'll join us for this live. He usually does. So, yeah. And he was hinting at this show for us, this because he knows we're ship guys, and he says, there's stuff coming up you guys are going to love. So, Bashir was genetically enhanced and Starfleet kept him around. Dal might end up saving Starfleet. Would be enough reason to let him in. Exactly. We had clarification that Dal natively speaks Federation standard. Makes sense since he's essentially human. Also true. PM says, sorry if I missed it earlier, but I was kind of annoyed that they were stuck in the NX Defiant. It's like they are trying to do fan service, but like poor marksmen, they keep missing the target. Yeah, but the Prodigy guys are really good at, because we did a video. We have a video coming out about the Defiant, actually, and it is almost exactly the same model that they used in DS9. The NX thing, yeah. They're not doing it deliberately. They have made a few mistakes, like the first contact ship for Solom being a Prometheus class that's upside down, stuff like that. So mistakes like that happen, and we're going to point that stuff out when we do our videos on these ships. So, and they don't keep missing the target at all. They actually hit the target 90% of the time, at least. Wonder if there's a cult of Soong somewhere, or a secret planet of augments similar to Picard Season 2. Mr. Anderson, the NX Defiant reappeared at the end of DS9. Despite how being a renamed Sao Paulo, it's tradition to reuse the NX Defiant at this point. That's also true. I'm not going to argue that, but yeah, it really should have been NCC. But not a deal breaker for me, because the model is so good. By the way, I love seeing you and Sam on Trek Culture's video, and it seems that most want the Lost Era series. It's true. Get that pug a CPAP. Well, just like me, she'll never wear it. I never wear my CPAP machine. It actually makes me feel more tired, and I end up ripping it off after like 3 hours or so anyway. Middle of the night, I have to rip it off. So CPAP is kind of pointless. Are the mistakes Aaron's folks? You mean fault, or the visual effects guys? It's the visual effects guys. It's not Aaron's fault at all. Aaron's a writer and producer. He's not an animator. He's not a visual effects guy. So Bashir mentioned the planet he was augmented, Aegean Prime or something. Bet that's where they are. Come here and lay down. Come on. Come here and lay down. Lay in that bed. Then you got lots of room. You don't have to fight for room. Good girl. yeah, I think Dow's going to be able to get in no problem. I kind of like the solution of, well, the gravity bomb was cool, but when Rock Talk takes the flamethrower and points it at Murph, that was a good idea. But also maybe point it at the fucking thing right on the ground in front of you that's holding you to the ground so that you guys can get up too. Because honestly, it was completely stupid that Dow takes the thing that Dreadnock threw at him and whips it right at Rock and Jankum that are on the floor to hit that and get out of the way. With the way he threw it, it would hit them, and then they would both end up hitting Jankum. So I wouldn't have done that. That was a weird choice, but everybody's got to do something, I guess, because teamwork. Lost starships would end up with starships that don't match existing canon, like in Disco. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the thing that I worry about. They are at near Gamma Serpentis, mentioned in the previous episode, near the heart of the Federation. Yes. Tomad Incident, miniseries showing the heroic destruction of the Enterprise B. That would be great. I would be down for this. So yeah, how they're going to solve this problem, I don't know, because even the Klingon ships that came in are getting destroyed now. Because you can't, the problem is, you can't come in and destroy the ship that's attacking the Federation because it's all the Federation ships. All you can do is put your ship in harm's way and prevent the phasers that they're firing at each other from hitting other friendlies. So, and plus she did say, you know, prepare to beam over. So they're beaming people onto the ships, but then the one Klingon bird of prey got destroyed. And it's like, all right, so people are still dying left, right, and center. And speaking of, those are not Burrell or even Cavort class bird of preys. They're actually a different design. We did see these earlier in the episode Kobayashi Maru. They've got a wider body. They got different elements. We're going to have a video coming out about them where we talk about the differences because they are different, newer birds of prey. They've got different body shapes. So, just saying. Wish they showed Gwen contacting the Tamarins and getting the message out. Shaka with the wall spell. Fleet Paw, whatever they make, keep Alex Kurtzman away from the creative control, like far, far, far away. Preferably not even in the far, far away. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Tasha Yar is going to save everyone with a heroic act. Olivia says, can the Klingons tell other Starfleet ships not to come to the emergency? Yes, they absolutely 100% can. Yes. Sean O'Sullivan, the new Bozeman is a sovereign, I believe, in Beta Canon. Yeah, not sure. So if they contacted the Federation allies, why did they not tell them not to come? Good question. Good question. Needed to convince them to come. So that's what all the time was wasted on. I don't know the particulars of that. It would make sense to say, yeah, make sure to pass on the message to the Starfleet ships not to, you know, to respond to the distress call. But Joshua 11345, $5. Would it not help to disable the weapon systems on the Federation ships by having the Allies target the weapon systems? It absolutely would, yes, but that still takes time and precision. I'm not sure I would trust a Gorn freighter or a Tellarite freighter or whatever to do that necessarily. But yes, you absolutely could do that, 100%. If they don't time travel, the ship destruction could end up on par with Wolf 359 and could explain why they needed to build up a new fleet for the Romulan incident later if they are low on ships. Yeah, absolutely. They needed allies to reinforce the shields of the Starfleet ships firing at each other. They didn't anticipate other Starfleet ships arriving automatically getting infected. not to reinforce any shields. All the shields are down on all the Starfleet ships. There are no shields up at all. So you're not reinforcing shields, you're adding shields. You're putting your ship in front of the phaser beams, using your shields to take the hits. Textical. I don't know if anyone mentioned this, but the Sovereign can be clearly seen at 501 for when it warps in again at 2148. Oh, it's there twice. Okay. I saw it warp in. I didn't see it earlier on. I'll need to take a look for that. I think they might have just had like a few ship models, because even the Enterprise E is there. You can see the cell registry number. I can actually show you guys real quick, possibly. Yeah, you can't. It's too low a resolution of a picture, but that right there, that ship, that says 1701E on the. You can't see it here. That's just a. Yeah, it's not a good picture. We got a more high resolution picture for our video about it. So, but yeah, could be they just used the models that had the registry number and forgot to change them, or didn't change them just because. Fleet Pal says, I'm not 100% sure that telling the Starfleet ships not to respond to the distress signal would work. It seemed like all the construct needed to do was hail Starfleet ship and then they were infected. You'd think that, but they sent distress calls, which brought in the Sovereign and another ship, and they came out of warp, they were fine, and then they instantly became infected. It's almost like a general area thing. Like once you hit this area, your ship becomes infected, which is kind of stupid. Honestly, as soon as they get the hail, they should be infected. So on the way there, they should be infected. So reinforce may be the wrong word. Assist with more shields. Not only assist, but just supply shields, because none of these shields are up. We need shields. But yeah. It could be an animation error. Absolutely, yes. We're going to talk about that with our episode. I reckon Gren can shut it down somehow. Diviner species must have a way of cutting off. I mean, maybe. Maybe they were infected on the way, but maybe they were infected on the way there, but it takes a minute and it shows once they arrive. That could be the case as well, yes. Brandon Carell, yeah, I thought the whole thing was that any hail would instantly cause an infection back along the way to Earth space dock. Only if, first of all, you have to accept the hail. So if you get a general distress call, you don't necessarily have to answer it. Like, well, you just have to go in the direction that the distress call is coming from. So that might not be the infection thing. It's once they arrive, they get infected because they immediately, like, I don't know, try to contact another ship. I don't know the situation with that. It's very vague in that regard. And yeah, it would be cool if it just infected ship to ship to ship to ship to ship to ship to ship all the way to space dock or star bases and whatever. But Gwen's heirloom thing might be how to shut down the construct. Essentia had a similar heirloom in her fight with Gwen. Yes, they all do. All of those diviner type peoples. The Solon peoples. Maybe the warp drive slows down the process first. Could be. Does feel like a very OP weapon. Even the Borg don't have something like this. It's true. That is true. Could it be that the distress call transmitted the virus to any ship that received it, much like a normal hail would? We were just talking about that. You would think so, which means as soon as they received it and started heading that way, they'd be infected. But they came out of warp, and once they came out of warp, then they turned all red and evil. So it's kind of implying the opposite of that. So even as an Admiral, Jellicoe is hardcore. Hell yeah. We hit 50 likes. That's awesome. If you haven't hit the like button, give the like, a tap or a hit or a punch or a lick or a caress or a stroke or a bang or I don't know. Hit that like button in some form or another. Um, keep the super chats coming. We've had a few good super chats. Really appreciate that, guys. So if you can help us out in that regard, please do so. Olivia, could you imagine if the Borg got that weapon? The ship would make the crew drones. The drones would even have to leave their alcoves. Tara, I think the red color change might have been more of a visual assist for the kids and not a technical change. Sure. Like the hate virus, the hate plague in the original Transformers G1, where they just literally glowed red, their entire body. Sure, fine. I'll bite. But just do the windows. Would have been better. There's no reason that the warp coils or the deflector would ever turn red. That's just silly. So, and this for the kids thing, they don't buy it. So, but yeah, that's kind of one thing we've considered. The Lost Arts, you might have a point there about the subspace relays. I wonder if those shuttles inside those ships started shooting from the inside. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Listen, Jericho, do they have any firewalls on these ships? They need to stop using the basic ones and get a better one. Brandon Carell, you would think that if it was designed for this, though, that once a ship received a hail, it would then transmit again to other ships to continue to spread it all over the sector, etc. Yeah, all it takes. So if you're a Federation ship and you get this hail and you don't answer it, you're fine. As soon as you answer it, your ship gets infected. Immediately, the ship that's infected should be transmitting messages to other ships to try to pass on the infection. I guess Starfleet didn't have NordVPN here. The red thing reminded me of the cat. The cat. Okay, don't know what you're referring to. Infected Starfleet ships go brrr. Why didn't the protostar go red? Because it's not infected. That's the one that the construct is on. The same reason it hasn't tried to destroy itself the whole time that the construct's been on board, because the construct is aboard it. There's no reason it would go red. It's not going to allow itself to be infected by itself. My brain hurts. Control, fight, and discovery. Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah. I know. Yeah. No, so overall, a good episode, especially for ship guys. Although you have to have those ships be perfect because we're going to notice everything. Like one of the Sovereigns, there's got a nice close up of the back of it. No impulse engines. Had the impulse engine holes, but then just the regular hull detailing over them. Weird idea, weird look. So the protostar is the carrier, just like some people during the influenza and plague were carriers but didn't get infected themselves. Exactly. Trek or not, the ships went red because they were clearly embarrassed about receiving a spatially transmitted disease. Oh, that's funny. Leave it to Trek or not to come up with something good. Good job, man. Good job. I appreciate you. That was good, Gary. That was awesome. And he's not wrong. Oh, okay. I'm just going to pick everyone in my audience yawn right now. The red is like a herpes rash, yeah. This is what happens when you don't use protection on your computer cores. Fleet Pal says that was funny as fuck, Trek or not. Indeed. Indeed it was. Indeed. I'll use that tomorrow in the live, Trek or not. And I'll take all credit for it. Because that's what I do. I'm just kidding. Mr. Anderson, one would even call it a red wave, since it's sent by subspace carrier waves. Oof, you people, I don't know. I can dress you up, but I can't take you out. Yeah, man. It's a hell of a cliffhanger. Now, it would have been kind of cool to see some escape pods, like... And as soon as they fucking launch, phaser fire, just taking out escape pods. That would have been quite impactful, pardon the pun, for multiple reasons. We already know that people are getting murdered. Like, they're getting bridge hits, you know, no shields. You know that people are dying. We're not experiencing any of it, but if you see a little escape pod or two, and then getting shot out, you know that there's people on those. And I assume the escape pod systems wouldn't work anyway, because the ship's infected. It's not going to release the clamps for an escape pod. It's going to keep the people on the ship. And even if it did escape, the escape pod would be infected. So fly them into a planet or a sun. Fleet Paw says, this advert brought to you by Trojan brand firewalls, because you never know who's infected. Didn't the first salvo take out escape pods? For some of the ships, yeah. Yeah. But there's still a lot of escape pods visible that are perfectly fine. So, manual override for pods. Don't need to kill crew, just the ships. Well, no, you want to kill Starfleet personnel as well. You don't want to just kill their technology. Sure, the technology is what got them to Solom to make first contact, but if you keep them alive, they're going to rebuild eventually, and the chances are they might find you again. So you want to take out everybody, everything. Really revisit virus protection. Yes. I'm thinking that the construct is going to somehow be converted or rewritten to stop it. The way they keep focusing on the image of it targeting ships gives that vibe. Could very well be, yeah. Olivia says, I'm sure there will be a really ship next. I'm sure there will be a really ship show all next week about this. Probably. Well, then the season ends when is season 2 beginning? Either the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024. They haven't announced it yet, so. Don't shoot, there are no life forms aboard. Yeah, that long. But you gotta think, we got Picard, then we're gonna have probably Strange New World Season 2. We got Picard Season 3, Strange New World Season 2, then probably Discovery at some point, then Lower Decks, and then go back to Prodigy again. That's how it's gonna be. And Lower Decks is probably coming out in September, around September time, like it usually does. No idea when Discovery's coming out. They just wrapped on filming that like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Strange New Worlds season 1 and 2 they filmed back to back, so season 2's already like probably almost finished with everything, and yeah, Picard is done and gonna be out February 16th. So February 16th, Olivia. This massive massacre of the fleet and the attack on Mars might be the reason for the Inquiry class existence. I like it, but it's a bit ship. Samuel Cockings, probably. Lower Decks is the only consistent one. Always starts around late summer each year. So far, only consistent one, yeah. If they follow the trend, Picard will end end of March, and then Strange New Worlds will start at the end of March or the beginning of April, which is exactly what happened last year with Strange New Worlds. So I think they're trying to set up when shows will be airing. So I think they're trying to establish some kind of set schedule with that. I want to see the Ibn Majid in action. Yes. Mr. Anderson, I disagree on the inquiry remark. If this is 2383, they had 16 years to rebuild the fleet. And in season 2 of Picard, they had several previously known classes in their fleet. Birth defect. If escape pods are likely to be used for far from planets, since transporters could be used for at least some of the crew at such a range, would suspended animation make sense aboard those pods? We did a whole episode about escape pods, and for deep space, escape pods, when they launch, have something called a gaggle mode. So, and it's called gaggle because it's like geese, they clump together. They actually attach together, so they actually have like large compartments of like, so once they attach together, you can like go through the next pod and you can hang out with your crew, and they all like attach together to form like a little mini thing. They do have transporter ability. They do have a few different things. It's been a while since we've done the episode, but learned a lot about escape pods researching that episode, and it's a really good one. So if you guys want to check that out, yeah, like the Suliban cell ships, exactly, yes. Will we get a Protostar ship model? Absolutely we will. I just don't know when or from whom. I know that Playmates is making a Protostar. Aaron Moltke has confirmed that. They just haven't announced when that's coming out. And as we know, Playmates did some really great Star Trek ships back in the day. So thank you, FleetPod, for sharing the Escape Pod video. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Playmates Protostar. I really want a Protostar. I love the Protostar design. I think it's a fantastic ship. So yeah, you'll definitely be getting models of it, even from round 2 or whatever, that you can build yourself. And when Eagle Moss comes back, because it will be coming back, when it comes back, I'm sure you'll have a Protostar available from them. So we'll keep crews as transporter patterns like Scotty, like Schrodinger's cat crew. That's kind of sketchy, though. I don't know if I would trust that, honestly. Jet Jordan 36A. There's an error with the Sovereign CGI model. The impulse engines are missing. There's no red highlights in that area if you look closely. Yeah, don't worry, we cover that. We noticed that too. And also the little batch of windows above the shuttle bay aren't lit up. They just have the hull covering over those as well, which is a weird choice. Don't worry, you're talking to the ship guys. We noticed this ship. Or we noticed this shit. Brandon says, sorry to run early, Captain, but the storm is hitting good now, and I may not have power tomorrow. If I'm not able to get on, I hope your live tomorrow is good. Well, hopefully you can. Our storm has not hit yet. It's nice and peaceful out there right now, so. Gary Kaiser, they went bankrupt. Who bought them? Not sure who bought them, but they are coming back. They have been bought, and got word from Ben Robinson that they will be making new ships. They will be returning with the old ones, and they are in talks to complete that large Enterprise D, that Build Your Own Enterprise D. So, Tara, cool. I want to check out the Escape Pod. Please do, Tara. Please do, and comment on it, like it, and if you can shoot a super thanks at it, please do. We'd appreciate it. PM, I would love a 1/72nd scale Protostar model from Polar Lights. Would end up about the same size as the 1350 TOS Enterprise. Yeah. Honestly, the transporters weren't meant to do that. It was just Scotty, who's an amazing engineer. We see that what happens normally if someone has been in the buffer too long in the Enterprise episode. You're absolutely right, General Grievous. But tech has advanced. They know about Scotty's trick. It's a good idea, honestly, but I just wouldn't trust it. And keep in mind that even Scotty, who was a genius that did it, his friend that was in there with him also he died. So Olivia says we got 5 inches of snow today. So this is Canada. So this is Canada. And what have you done? Another year of snow, and the blowing's just begun. So have a very snowy Christmas. Okay, Scott Phillips. I read that Alexander Siddig is going to be on Lower Decks, and also in the same article it said that he would be the main character on the Section 31 series. First I heard about that show in a while. That'd be neat. I'd be down for that. But I wouldn't trust the article. There's articles like that all the time. They're just clickbait articles. I wouldn't believe it. It depends on the source of the article. But yeah, don't believe those articles. Those are just generated for clickbait. So hopefully the model the Excelsior 2 comes out, as that was a fantastic design. Yes, and we have a video coming out about the Excelsior 2 actually soon. I hope we see Seven or the Doctor make an appearance. Seven can fuck off for all I care. I'd like to see the Doctor make an appearance, though. I think that would be a natural thing to bring the Doctor back. Seven we're going to see in Picard Season 3, so who gives a shit, really? Seems like the deflector dishes and all the Sovereign-class ships in the latest episode of Lower Decks were colored in blue, despite the ones in Picard and yellow color. Yes, we talked about that too when we saw the fleet last time. It is an odd choice, but I prefer them blue, honestly. I think they should be blue. I never liked the yellow deflectors. So tomorrow in North America, One White Christmas comes on the radio. Joke's on you, Fleetpaw. I got the undercarriage package in the car wash. If Seven is written right, I wouldn't mind seeing her again. That's also very true, yes. Anything giant freaking robot is utter rubbish, pure trash. Yeah, and 100% not true. So there's a few of them. Giant freaking robot. We got this covered. There's a few other ones that are just pure clickbait and bullshit every time. Yeah, but we got this covered is really bad for that. So was Giant freaking robot. Hopefully Naomi Wildman makes an appearance someday as a Starfleet officer, maybe under Janeway's command in the future. That would be great. She is in Star Trek Online, but I'd love to see the real Ichab return. They did his character dirty. They did. And they did Manu Interreme dirty as well, the actor. Red shirts always dies is another clickbait trash heap. Yeah, they're like all those clickbait article posters are like The Onion, essentially. They're just bullshit stories. So. Gary Keyser, the robot, reminds me of General Grievous. Yes, we've had this discussion before. It's the Star Trek equivalent of General Grievous. We have General Grievous in the chat as well, so yeah, he knows that we talk about him quite often in that regard. Dreadnock definitely looks like General Grievous, and got the transforming tech of a transformer, so very neat. Don't remind me of Ichep's demise. If only Q Jr. could bring up. Oh yeah, yeah, Itchy and Cubo. Yeah. Fleetpaw. Dreadnock is Grievous's inbred cousin from Alabama. General Grievous and says, "I am much loved by my adoring public." Mr. Anderson, Dreadnock in this episode felt like a mix of General Grievous and a droidica. And going back to my point that I said earlier, I'm just glad that Dreadnock was set on non-lethal mode, because he could have killed those kids, and he probably should have. I think that's what his character should be doing. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying. The non-lethal thing was a bit much, and especially Dal when he gets pinned to the wall. Like that should have killed you, Dal. You're lucky you're alive, because I think maybe Dreadnock was trying to at least kill him. I don't know why he just didn't kill everybody else. You know. I actually have to go watch the episode. I haven't seen it yet. General Grievous, why are you here? Stuart, a droidica is one of those droids in Star Wars Episode 1, and they roll up in the ball and has shields. Yeah, okay, I didn't know they were called that, but yeah. Smart Smears, yeah, I did feel like it was holding back and not killing them easily. Also, I've always assumed that Murph's weakness was getting frozen. Yeah, but is it though? Because Murph can go out in space, absolute zero, and be fine. So, this Jericho, she seems to have the nicer Dreadnock. She should have had the Diviner's one. I mean, maybe, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Episode was fantastic, fun, lots of good ship content, lots of mistakes, lots of errors, a few things that didn't make much sense. That's just the way it is. It'd be interesting to see where this rates on our scale. Samuel actually said today when we filmed our edited review, which will be out tomorrow afternoon, he said that this is probably his second favorite episode out of the second half of this season. I don't know where I would put it, because I'm trying to remember all the episodes this half of the season. It'd probably be up there. It'd probably be my third or fourth, possibly. But there are some issues with it for sure, so. The Murph booty slap had me rolling. Mr. Anderson, and yeah, Murph being weak to cold made no real sense since he's been outside the vacuum of space. I think he was just frozen to the wall, so he was behind ice, so he couldn't move. I think that's kind of what they were implying, not that he himself was, like, affected by the cold, necessarily. What are you looking at? Dot. 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 Stop ignoring me and look at me. Okay. This one was staring off into space. Up here somewhere. And I don't know what she was looking at. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway. I felt like it was hard to top Mind Walk, and I don't think either this or the next episode will. The Lost Starts. It seems like the priority was to disable their targets and then assist its charge as soon as possible to continue the mission. Killing a large rock monster seems like it could take too long. Yeah, but you could kill Dal instantly, same with Jankum. Olivia says, question, the shuttle maker that we see in the first part of the episode made the robot guy. Could this be... It's not a shuttle maker, it's a vehicle replicator, but I know what you mean. And it didn't make this guy. It did make another version of Dreadnock, of the Diviner's Dreadnock. This is not Diviner's Dreadnock, this is a different one. Ooh, I have the same sand thingy. Yeah, I need to actually put some water in ours. The water levels got a little bit too low. You can actually replace it with like you need to get a little syringe and there's like a hole in the top. So part 2 could be the Diviner's Planet Tech and not Federation. I still vote that they use time travel in some way to fix things. I do too. That would be great. I want to see Chakotay. He's really been done dirty, I think. Not getting any lines and not having any screen time. So Sean O'Sullivan, sand thingy. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Still sticking with the enterprising. What? I think Chakotay is going to be the main story of season 2 unless he comes to save the day. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all in that. I could see him being a big chunk of the story in season 2 for sure. Is it because it's coarse and rough and irritating? It gets everywhere. Yep. Enterprisians helping, I mean. That'd be interesting. I don't know if they necessarily have ships that could make it here, but maybe Okana will come back with a fleet of ships of his own to help out. But again, what are you going to do? You can't warp in and take out the big baddie that's shooting everybody because all the ships are shooting each other. So you need to get the people off and avoid having ships get hit. So as we see, the bird of preys are trying to get between and they're getting their shield bubbles hit, and that's fine. But one of the bird of preys actually got destroyed. So even if that ship, because she did go on screen and say, prepare to beam aboard, even if she was beaming people off the Federation ships, once that ship gets destroyed, then they're all dead anyway. So Smart Smears, honestly, I found it pretty wild when you and the whole Trekyards audience said Picard season 2 was better than Discovery season 4. Those first 2 episodes were good, but not that good. We didn't say that. Smart Smears, we didn't say that because we just did our top 10 worst episodes of 2022, and 6 of them on my list were Picard. They're very barely the same. Picard can be considered worse because it's actually destroying good characters that we know and love. Discovery is its own thing, always has been. So those 2 or 3 episodes in season 2 that are fairly decent, they do go a long way, honestly. But those episodes are better. The season as a whole, I don't think is. Season 4 of Discovery and season 2 of Picard are pretty much the same as far as crap. But at least Picard has a few things that kind of lift it up a little bit. So I don't think we said it was better. Like there's no wide margin. If it's better, it's barely better because there was like a few good episodes. I wonder if all the shuttlecrafts are infected and they're not directly linked into the ship systems. Chakotay was originally an Irish character called Chakotay, and it changed when Beltran was cast. How did the bird of prey warp with no nacelles? They actually have nacelles, but they are not the standard style of nacelles. We've done a Trekyards Legends episode on the bird of prey that I believe addresses that very thing. Gary Keyser, well, that's my bet and sticking with it, but who knows? Drop a Breen EMP thing to wipe their power. That might work. Smart Smear says, I think season 2 will be about a combination of rescuing him and making a good first contact with Solom. If Anakin hated sand so much, then why wasn't his little castle thing on the sand planet? Sidious kept his suit uncomfortable to feed his anger, making strong the dark side. Well, I'd be more mad at the fucking lava that burned my body up than I would be of sand. But yeah, imagine getting sand in the Darth Vader suit against the skin, the body with no skin. Oh, you know. You can actually survive in space for a short time without a suit for about 30 seconds before you go unconscious. I think about 2 to 4 minutes before you were sort of past the point of no return. And Gary Kaiser says, Solom. Solom is the planet that the Diviner and the Vindicator came from. Solom is the whole point for this season because of the bad first contact. So why is everybody like, Solom? Fun story. Beltran in the 90s was going through a bad neighborhood and saw gangbangers looking at him. He thought he was going to get mugged, and one of them said, "Hey, it's the commander." Mark Henson, I can't stay awake. I didn't get enough sleep today. I think I'm good now. Well, go just get some sleep then. Gary says, sorry, QWERTY bored and about to fall asleep. Ooh, okay, my bad. It's a spelling thing regarding Solemn. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Solemn is the name of the divine account homework where the divine comes from. Yes. We've already established this. Look at Fleetpaw just putting in the Klingon bird of prey wisdom. You go, girl. Thanks, Fleetpaw. Much appreciated. Could we get another $30 in super chats? That'd be a good number to end out on if possible. By the way, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Yeah, another one of my favorite things, honestly, was the Universal Translator going down. I would like to see that happen more often, to be fair. So that was cool. And what a great way to cause chaos on these ships, to not have anybody be able to communicate with each other. I think that was fantastic. Olivia's like, dang it, I wanted a you go girl comment from the cap. Olivia, you go girl. Good night, Gary. Have a good one. Solon stole my golem, assume novel. All right, Smart Smears. Hopefully you can check this out later. Hopefully your Wi-Fi gets better. Mark says, no, I think I'm good now. What I meant was I've been here since she first went live, and I've been dozing off the whole time. My voice will do that to people. So, Discovery and Picard are still my okay modern Star Trek shows. To be honest, still I'm looking forward to the latter's final season. Yes. There's a reason you keep me around, and it's not my good looks. It's my brain. Yeah, that's true, Fleetpaw. That's 100% true. A variation of it happened in season 1 of Discovery. ST Scout Guy, I was surprised that the Dauntless Vulcan executive officer did not also speak Federation Standard. Yeah, you'd think that Federation Standard might be, required learning at the Academy, at least a basic crash course, just in case such things happen. Just saying, that might be helpful. Definitely a good way to sow discord to stop crews from doing the old Starfleet thing of banding together to fix a problem. The best thing to cripple Starfleet ingenuity is stop its collaboration. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Not going to lie, but I listen to old Trekyards lives to help go to sleep. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if you're insulting us or you're just like, it's calming, it's relaxing. It's like background white noise. Or we're just that goddamn boring. Probably seen as insensitive to force everyone to speak English. Well, it's called standard for a reason, and considering the Academy's on Earth, it's probably good to have one universal language that everybody speaks. And it should be English because I'm English and that's what I think. So I'm insensitive? I guess so. Just kidding. General Grievous, though I wonder if they're too reliant on universal transporters, so they didn't think they needed to learn other languages anymore. Universal transporters, General Grievous. What? Oh, translators. You fixed it. Okay, good. Captain Casey Stewart says, it's a good thing. It relaxes me. Tara, maybe they all learn Federation Standard, but they don't use it enough to keep it fresh. That could be the case, sure. They just pass their classes and started forgetting it. I would totally buy that, actually. I would totally buy that. Birth Defect says Doom Dick is best to fall asleep to. SD Scout Guy, wouldn't the Klingon's universal translator not work? Still too loud, Janeway, to talk to them. You'd think so, yes. Absolutely. I thought the fucking same thing. The Klingon's translator isn't fucking affected, so any incoming hail should be translated immediately to the Klingon for them. So Janeway should be able to talk to anybody that's not in Starfleet. Yes, I totally agree. Where's Hoshi when you need her? English is the new Latin. It's even the standard language in the EU, although the way it's spoken differs from where English is the native language. Huh. Should be a Starfleet rule to learn Federation standard. I kind of agree with that. I would like to congratulate everybody. We are at the 90-minute mark, and we have not gone off topic. We're still on topic and on track. That's what happens when you have a really good episode that has a lot to talk about. So I'd like to thank everybody for not going off the rails at the hour mark. This has been fantastic. They just wanted Gwen to use her skills in that scene. That's also true. That's fine. General Grievous, I can buy that they can forget. I was once in a near native level with sign language, semi-fluent in Spanish, and could muddle my way through Mandarin. But after 2 to 3 years of not using it, I got rusty at all three. Fleetpaw says, let's not forget, Janeway understands Klingon. She can't speak it well, but she can understand it. This is true. This is true. You're all right, Fleetpaw. Stuart, in your breakdown, did you use any Galaxy-class ships in the fleet? In your breakdown, did you see any Galaxy-class ships in the fleet? No, because there aren't any. There are only Centaur-class, Akira-class, and Sovereign-class. And, of course, one Dauntless and one Protostar. Captain Casey Stewart, permission is to off-topic, Captain. Just kidding. If you want to, sure. I'm probably going to be wrapping this up soon, so. Tara, I did not remember that Janeway understood Klingon. How do we know that again? Because if I recall correctly, in the last episode, Endgame, when the Klingons are talking amongst themselves, when she's going to get the time device that she needs to get, they're talking amongst themselves, and she understands what they're saying, that they were going to rip her off or not give it to her or something like that. And she knows enough to know what's going on. General Grievous, I wonder if the Galaxy-class refits would be back to exploration missions after the Dominion War as their primary purpose. Well, you mean the refits like the three nacelled Galaxy classes? Those never actually existed. They were just in All Good Things, and there was only one of them. Because that was one of Riker's benefits from being an admiral. He could request any ship. So there are Starfleet campuses on more than just Earth, though, isn't there? Even if the headquarters is on Earth. Yes, there are. Absolutely, there are. Yes. But the main Starfleet Academy is on Earth. I think even if you go to the other ones to get most of your training, you still have to go and finish up at the Starfleet Academy on Earth. From the episode Hope and Fear, where they meet Arcturus. And also Endgame, yeah. Mr. Anderson, also Janeway served aboard a ship for 7 years with a half Klingon. I'm sure she picked up some words along the way, even if we never really saw it on screen. General Viewer says, no, I meant the Dominion War refits of the Galaxy class. Dominion War refits. Sure, they probably went back to exploration. So hopefully this storm doesn't affect too many people too negatively. It is supposed to be a bit of a killer storm, so I want everybody to stay safe out there. So. because it's still not raining here. It's supposed to rain, it's supposed to freeze, then it's supposed to snow. With high winds. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, The Search for Chakotay. I'd be down for that. Centaur class seemed a little bit odd to be included in the episode for some reason to me. It was a little odd, especially for so many of them. And the actual USS Centaur is there as well. Wouldn't have minded one or two of those, and then like a Miranda class, a Galaxy class. You know. We can't talk about Prodigy Season 2, Temporal Prime Directive. There you go. You heard it from Tara. So, yeah, I'm quickly running out of steam, guys. I've had a busy couple of days, and I got a busy couple of days more, early days. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the full 2 hours here. I think I'm going to close out pretty soon. Seeing the USS Sovereign was cool. It was. Maybe Centaurs have finally replaced Miranda's as the go-to Canon fighter ship of the fleet. Maybe. Fleet Pa, I'll make a playlist for you. It's just 2 hours of Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. Alyssa Jericho, do you think there is a big reveal of where Dell's human DNA came from? I'm guessing Kirk. No, I don't think there's anything so silly as that. Be cool, but I don't think so, personally. Captain, was the Venture the only variant with phasers added to the nacelles? I honestly don't know. The Lost Starts, it's probably marketing for the new video game featuring the Centaur class. Getting more screen time means higher sales for recognizable ship design. That's brilliant, The Lost Starts. I like that, because yeah, it's going to be featured in the game Resurgence. That's brilliant. I like the way you think. Do you think the Diviner is really gone? Will time travel bring him back? Yeah, I don't think he's actually gone. Vindicator will definitely be back, because she just fucked off with her Dreadnock. So she'll be back. Dal's human DNA likely comes from a Maquis, as the Maquis logo was shown amongst the list of races. List of Jericho. In the Shatnerverse, the USS Sovereign was Kirk's ship. Kevin says, have a good night, Captain. Way's looking great. Thank you, Kevin. SC Scout Guy. Who actually thinks that the Ferengi should have come to help? Or would have come to help? I do. Especially now, considering that Rom is the Grand Nagus. The Grand Nagus has probably changed a lot of things on Ferenginar, and yeah, I think they absolutely would have come to help. Let's hope Enterprise E would still live in the season 1 finale of Prodigy on the final Thursday of 2022. Grand Nagus Rom sent the Ferengi ship to assist. Very likely, very likely. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it. I'd really like to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out our review tomorrow afternoon, as well as our complete live breakdown and review at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. It should be a fun one to discuss, lots of things to talk about, and hopefully we'll get into some really good details and things. And don't forget to watch the weekend where we have our breakdown videos. I know it's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, so after you're done your festivities or hanging out with your family, you can check out Trekyards and join us for that. Also, don't forget that on the Captain Foley personal channel on Sunday, I have my final week, my week 4 of the Build Your Own Enterprise D Advent Calendar build, which is fantastic. So if you're able to check that out on Christmas Day, that's when it's coming out at 8 a.m. Christmas morning, Eastern Standard Time, of course. So check that out, or check it out later in the day, or even Boxing Day. I don't care. Check it out, because it's actually a really cool model, and I'm glad that I got the chance to build it. It's really cool, and the final model is quite nice. So Anyway, Joshua11345 throws in $2 and says last super chat. So he went for that last super chat slot. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Have a good evening and a great Christmas, Stuart. Feliz Navidad. You too. I want to wish everybody a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, a happy holidays, a happy Hanukkah. Whatever you guys celebrate, please have a good one. Be safe, especially with this storm coming up. Don't travel if you don't have to. And if you do have to travel, by all means, please be safe. I want you guys to all return next week and into 2023. I don't want anything bad happening to any of you. So please, yes, happy Festivus, yes. So please take care during the holiday season, guys. Captain Casey Stewart snipes in with a $2 super chat for that last super chat slot, which is great. And I got to say, real quick, we're $25 away from a really good number. Not that anybody's going to super chat in that much, but for the last super chat slot, who knows what can happen. Sometimes there's complete snipe wars where it's like $1, $2, $5, whatever. But I know it is a bad time of year for that. It is Christmas. Everybody spent their money or needs to still spend their money. And if you have to go out shopping still, I feel bad for you because I went out today, had to grab one or two things, most of which were not even Christmas related, just stuff we needed. And every place was a shit show. People don't know how to drive. They definitely don't know how to fucking park. And yeah, it was not my cup of tea. So BJ Turan snipes in $1. Tara snipes in $3 with a snipey snipe. Thank you very much for that, Tara. And holy shit. Grant McGregor, $20. Take care. Happy holidays. Captain Casey Stewart, $50 super chat snipe. That is fantastic. Merry Christmas, he says. Thank you so much, Captain Casey Stewart. That is amazing. Look at all of that holiday cheer. I know the chat just got so bright and colorful. It's fantastic. Tara says, wow. Tara, we have $50 super chats pretty regularly. We've had $100 super chats. We even had a $500 super chat once. So it does happen. We got a great community. Joshua11345 snipes in with $2, a super snipe. And Fleetpath snipes in with $5. Snipey sniper with a quantum torpedo. Project Achieva just got here and is missing all of the fun. So that's sad. And watch this. Aaron will show up. Aaron Waltke will pop in just now and say, hey, how's it going, guys? That seems to be the way it goes. And I'm sorry. I'm just tired. I can't go for the full 2 hours or longer. Sometimes it's easy to go for 2.5 to 3 hours. I just can't tonight. I'm just drained completely from the last couple days of getting up early and doing things that I need to do. I still have stuff to do tomorrow. Tomorrow we have to film in the morning. I got the live at 4. I've got to vacuum the house. I've got to do some cleaning. I got to clean the bathroom and stuff. Got stuff to do, man. I was downtown Toronto for a concert. Well, glad you could make it, Project Achieva. I'd suggest go back and watch the live from the beginning. Should be worth it, I hope. Captain Casey Stewart, $2 with a tri-cobalt warhead. Damn, man. I'd say that Captain Casey Stewart's $50 one was the tri-cobalt. But that's kind of like a little phaser pock shot there, Captain Casey Stewart. So anyway, it all helps. Thank you so much. It's all good, man. Have a good night. Yeah, Mark, now that you're awake, I'm tired. But thank you, everybody that watched. If you haven't hit that like button, give it a like before you go. And honestly, now we're $10 away from an even better goal. So $10 if able. If not, I should probably go. But go to sleep. Have a good night. Yeah. Hey, Cap, I watched Star Trek The Motion Picture at Bell TIFF Lightbox in the 4K Director's Edition on Tuesday. That's awesome. I was there the Bell Lightbox in the summer to see the King Tut thing. So it was incredible on the big screen. Cool. All right, Fleetpot, $2. Tuvok, arm the photon. Tuvok, arm the photonic cannon. Yeah, I work nights, so I'm up late at night, unfortunately. Good to see you, Mark. Thank you for showing up. Much appreciated. Anyway, guys, I think we'll leave it there with $8 away from a goal, but whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna end it. So if anybody's watching this after the fact and wants to do a super thanks for that $8, would really help us out if you're able to. So please do so. But anyway, I'll call it there. Captain Casey Stewart puts in $10, which is perfect. Thank you so much. A phaser lance, amazing. Casey Stewart, you are killing it. Thank you so much, Captain. I'm gonna call it there, guys. My sciatic is kicking in. I'm in pain and I'm tired. So have yourselves a good night. Tune in tomorrow if you're able to, and I will see you guys later. Until then, this is Captain Foley signing off. Bye, everybody.